I was lucky enough to have some coursework at the Harvard Extension School shortly before I was diagnosed about how humans use the near and distant past to navigate the present. The present, of course, becomes the future. These concepts helped me find my way through the changes in myself that breast cancer brought. In the 11 weeks since treatment, I find that my near past has been obliterated. This is not only due to breast cancer, but to my mother's death over the summer. From November of 2005 until I got sick in May 2006, I was undergoing a period of personal change. I was actually re-examining my priorities, especially in terms of work. I thought about getting a PhD, but the delayed gratification proved to be too much for me as a breast cancer survivor. I know now that I am not going to live forever, and I'm operating with a shortened horizon. So, what to do with my life now? After breast cancer, there is such an impetus to move forward quickly. But the paradox is that you must wait in life for many things to unfold. Things are slowly starting to come together for me, but it's a long and fractured journey. I can't remember the last time that I was operating in reality. Often I feel like I've moved to a new town, and I'm living in a new house. The house is unfurnished, and there are many boxes to unpack, and I have no idea what is inside of any of them.
Hey, Howard, wait up! I need you to sign this for me, please!
Hi, Margaret. How you doing?
Good, good.
Oh, hey, Margaret! How you doing? Hey, now that you're feeling better, want to go get something to eat? You know, you look great. You don't even look like you had surgery.
Yeah, my boob should be at building 19.
You know, Margaret. Remember this friend had that little thing that you had? Should have been 6 years before it came back.
Hello, Fidelity. I'd like to decrease my weekly deductions, please.
Margaret, you look wonderful. Let's go play golf next week.
Margaret, how are... Oh, hold on. Hello? No, I'm not busy.
How are you? You look pale. Tell me what's going on.
I feel just plain old shitty today.
Oh, Margaret.
Oh. Cancer didn't change me that much. Lots of things happened between the first and second times I had cancer. I got divorced, I raised 4 children, and I started working after 25 years. I started living on my own for the first time at age 48. It was a good thing for the most part. I met some wonderful people back then. I was working in the local hospital as a secretary in the Human Resources Department. And I learned how to use the electric typewriter and a computer. Oh yeah, I was a modern old gal. Well, we needed to get a physical every year. And in 1986, I got a mammogram, and it showed a lump in my left breast, very deep, on my lymph nodes. It was only the size of a pencil eraser, but I still needed to get another mastectomy. But you know, I am so fortunate to still be here. In 2007, I am celebrating my 77th year. And I have gotten to see my children grow up. And I never would have believed I'd see my grandchildren, never mind great-grandchildren, even in pictures. I thank the good Lord for every day He gives me.
Having gone through breast cancer did change the way I think about things and what's important. Right after I finished treatment, I was so carefree and laid back. I was really good about setting priorities and not worrying about the little things. Now, after a few years, I have slipped back into my old ways a little, but I still have a different view of what matters than I did before. My mother told me, my brother and sister told her, that I was much less intense. I remember saying to my brother, who was always so carefree when I was so intense and serious, "You gotta lighten up." It's still hard to believe that I went through everything that I did.
'Cause when push comes to shove, you taste what you're made of. You might bend till you break, 'cause it's all you can take. On your knees you look up, decide you've had enough. You get mad, you get strong, wipe your hands, shake it off, then you stand.
The minute I got an oar in my hand, I fell in love with rowing. 5 years later, I'm still in love. We started out rowing one night a week. Now we row 3 nights a week in season. In the winter, we row indoors in the tanks 1 night a week and do strength training another night. And no matter what kind of day I've had, what kind of mood I'm in when I come to rowing, at the end of practice, I'm cheerful and energized. Before I got cancer, I just started getting into shape, doing a lot of strength training, upper body work. I never did have any upper body strength. Anyway, when I finished treatment, I wanted to get back to taking care of myself, especially since I felt like I'd let my body down by getting cancer and I had to make it up to myself. So when I got that list of regulations about not using my arm, I went right back to my doctor and said, "I can't live with these restrictions." And she was terrific. She told me those recommendations were based on zero hard research. And I could do anything I wanted to as long as I did it under the supervision of a physical therapist. So I figured, great, I was in business. And then I started trying to find a physical therapist who'd help me break the rules. Well, finally, in desperation, I got on my computer and Googled on Row as One. They're the group that had the breast cancer boat in the head of the Charles a few years ago. So I got to their site and, lo and behold, they're based right here in the Boston area. Not only that, but they were starting a free program to teach women with breast cancer how to row. We Can Row, which stands for Women Enduring Cancer Row. Not only that, but they were doing it in conjunction with the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, which is where I got my treatment. That was reassuring to me. And to my great delight, they have a physical therapist on board. And the founder and head coach as an Olympic gold medalist, Holly Metcalf. Can you imagine someone of that caliber taking on a bunch of unathletic middle-aged women? Some of us race. The first race I signed up for was the head of the Schuylkill. I didn't know it when I signed up, but the head of the Schuylkill is the biggest one-day rowing event in the country. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I survived. We usually row in an 8 or sometimes a 4, and that means that all 8 of us, or 4 of us as the case may be, have to be completely attuned to each other or else it's chaos. Also, rowing is very, very physically demanding. So if one of us falters, and one does falter in rowing, the rest of us pick up for her. We all do it for each other. So I've learned about teamwork. That means not only supporting other people, but accepting support, something that was never very easy for me.
Breast cancer was a wake-up call for me. I have a lot of life left to live. I'm not